So hi class, for today we'll be discussing about settings, processes, methods, and tools in the practice of counseling. So the common setting when it comes to counseling is through a private practice. So appointment-based na counseling wherein private practitioners have their own offices and typically set their own schedules, or either an assistant will assist patient, a client, para run down kung ano yung available schedule for a person who is seeking a counseling session. There are also community, which is more common, kung nagkakamali sa atin, which is focused on helping communities who may be struggling with an increased amount of shared psychological problems. Typically, mga social worker are also trained to do counseling, and they provide typically psychosocial support lalo sa mga kabataan who have undergone traumatic experiences sa buhay nila. Legal system also has counseling through a prison counselor or court counselor, in which they are working to rehabilitate an inmate so they can integrate back. Kasi yung idea ng prison to reintegrate, ibalik yung tao sa lipunan into society, or helping them adjust to their incarceration, to their predicament. Lalo ko ito ay life sentence. Care facilities such as orphanage or home for the aged, facilities which for individuals that lack the ability to take care of themselves, either temporary or permanent. Merong mga ganito sa Pilipinas, but for most of us, yung mga senior sa atin ay kasama pa rin sa bahay ng karamihan sa mga Pilipino. So when it comes to counseling, a typical process always start with a relationship building, a rapport, in creating a relationship, trust within the client and the counselor, problem assessment, goal setting, ano yung gusto mo achieve after, not necessarily to remove the problem, solve the problem, pero mabigyan, malinaw kung ano nga ba yung plano at the end of the session or series of sessions. Counseling intervention, ano yung gagawin ng counselor para doon ma-achieve yung goal, and evaluation, termination or referral to others na tingin niya mas kaya, mas angkop dun sa pinagdaraanan nung tao. When it comes to methods, meron tayong Adlerian. So, according kay Alfred Adler, so, meron siya tinatawag na individual psychology. Later on, Adlerian psychology, wherein long-term yung focus when it comes to the actual how do you call this, ways kung paano nagagawa yung counseling or counseling practice, which it places emphasis on a person's ability to adapt to feelings of inadequacy and inferiority relative to others. Because it's a long-term process na dahan-dahan yung tao, individual psychology, dahan-dahan bibigyan ng kakayahan or ibabalik yung kakayahan ng tao na makapag-adjust muli siya sa lipunan ginagalaw niya, or ma-resolve ba niya yung mga problema ang pinagdaraanan niya. Primarily to 4 stages. So, engagement, in which working together, counselor and client, to address the problem. Assessment, client's overall lifestyle pattern is revealed. Kaya take note, hindi siya isang session, dalawang session. Typically, half a year or even a year. Kasi inaalam mo yung kabuuan ng kwento nung kliyente mo para mas maintindihan mo ano nga ba yung mga posibleng rason, pinagmumulan ng problema, at ano yung mga pwedeng gawin, okay? So, insight, client is helped to develop new ways of thinking on the situation. Ano yung mga pwedeng gawin para mabigyan ng panibagong pagtingin? Okay, yung kliyente, doon sa mga pinagdaraanan niya. In a way na um, halimbawa, kung nasanay tayong tinitignan natin na ang mundo ay laging negatibo, lahat ng bagay na nangyayari sa atin ay pangit, hindi pabor sa atin, through a series of steps, insightful na communication, counseling sessions, insightful talaga na binibigyan ng panibagong perspektibo na try mo tignan na hindi yung lipunan ay glass half empty but the other way around. Hindi pala empty yung baso. Puno pala ito ng air particles, na gas particles that's not visible sa ating mata. Na parang ganoon din ang buhay natin na hindi lahat, may mga bagay na we take for granted, hindi natin binibigyan ng pansin, pero yun pala yung mga bagay na minsan dapat nating bigyan ng parang pagpasalamatan natin because these things are actually happening. Mas na-overshadow lamang ito ng mga bagay na negatibo kasi mas binibigyan natin ng pansin yung mga bagay na negatibo. Why? Because we've been through a series, or we are used to the idea that we feed on negativity. So, through reorientation, the client tries to engage in that specific new insight given by the counselor. Then we have behaviorism. Focuses on behavior instead of thoughts, feelings, or motivations. Mga precursor nito si Pavlov's classical conditioning, and Skinner's operant conditioning. So manipulation of behaviors through a series of rewards and reinforcement, rewards, punishment. Then we have cognitive behavioral. So according to Aaron Beck, a cognitive behaviorist, meron siya tinatawag ng cognitive therapy. So kung yung behavioral focuses on the behavior, the actions that we make, babaguhin yung actions, common cognitive errors that always happen to us includes self-reference, kino-compare mo yung sarili mo, ganyan. Selective abstractions, okay? Overgeneralizing, you try to overgeneralize things, na nagkamali ka lang isang beses, you think of it as na ito na yung kabuuan. Excessive responsibility, that you think na lahat ng bagay sa mundo ay binubuhat mo, lahat ng problema sa paligid mo ay dapat mong buhatin. And dichotomous thinking, not necessarily naging bipolar agad, pero but you have a certain tendency to to have that divided understanding of a certain situation. To a point that you can be talking to yourself as to why this may be happening, why you think that you're a problem, why everything that's happening around you is problematic. It helps client become aware of the inaccurate or negative thinking that he or she is exhibiting, so you can view challenging situations more clearly and respond to them in a more effective way. Na lahat ng tao may ganyang problema. During the pandemic, lahat ng tao may ganitong problema. Yes, it's valid. Valid yung nararamdaman mo, but that does not mean that you need to live behind or under the cave, within the cave, under the rock na lang that you're living. Kasi yun yung comfort place mo, yun yung safe haven mo, ganun yung term. But that's the idea. Minsan it's on the cognition, how we think about what's happening around us. Merong mga binigay na technique si Albert Ellis, Ellis, para to actualize the cognitive behavioral therapy, which includes journaling, challenging one's beliefs, mindfulness, relaxation, and any other form, social, physical, and other thinking exercises that tries to will provide you a certain focus on what you need to understand and what you should be understanding or focusing at a specific moment. In journaling, effective ito eh. Try to put into words your thoughts para mas mabilis mong ma-resolve ang problema. Better kung actual na sulat. Okay? Family systems therapy naman draws on systems thinking as it views the family's emotional unit. So, dapat pamilya yung ating within the family yung pagsasaayos ng problema. Evaluates the parts of the system in relation to the whole. So, there are 8 interlocking concepts according kay Bowen when it comes to family systems therapy. The differentiation of the self, emotional triangle, ano lang naman, hindi na natin masyado isa-isa. Just to give you an idea. Family projection process, sino ka, no? Sa pamilya mo, ganyan. Multi-generational transmission, emotional cutoff, sibling position, ikaw ba yung paboritong anak, ganyan. Societal, emotional process, and nuclear family emotional process. Then we have psychoanalysis for Freud, no? Meron siya tinatawag na free association, looking for those Freudian slips, no? Na we're in this Freudian slips, lalo halimbawa, nagkukwento ka, biglang may binanggit ka na out of nowhere sa kwento mo na walang kinalaman sa kinakwento mo. Baka yung binanggit mo yun yung tunay na nararamdaman mo at that particular moment or may kinalaman sa nararamdaman mo at that particular moment. Then, so you're associating, free association with that specific thought with another thing that you are experiencing. Dream analysis, the royal road to the unconscious, to fully understand what's in our mind, no? Ina-analyze yung ibig sabihin ng panaginip. Bakit ka nananaginip ng ahas? Ganyan. Bakit ka nananaginip na may humahabol sa'yo? What those things may mean when it comes to your overall psyche. Resistance analysis, in which resistance refers to the attempt, no? Refers to unconscious attempts by individuals to prevent anxiety. So, personal level, no, of resisting triggers of anxiety. And transference analysis, wherein therapists functions as a blank screen that will absorb whatever it is that you'll be throwing right in front of him. Okay, makikinig lamang siya or ire-reflect niya lamang yung mga sinasabi mo. Then we have humanistic. It holds that morality, values, and good intentions are the driving forces of behavior. It's the third force in the psyche, other than behaviorism and psychoanalysis. It's person-centered, humanistic eh. Non-pathological, humanistic therapists tend to believe that reducing human nature to mere numbers robs it of its richness. Its major concepts includes Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So if you have problems, baka makita natin dun sa kay Maslow's hierarchy of needs kung alin ba talaga din yung mga pagkukulang mo at alin pwede natin mabigyan ng solusyon. Unconditional positive regard, no? Carl Rogers, the unconditional acceptance, love, or affection. Baka mamaya kulang lang pala talaga tayo sa pagmamahal or pag-unawa ng isang tao. Free will, concept of free will, self-concept, and self-actualization. Is this the best version of yourself? Yung mga ganong idea. Then we have Gestalt, Gestalt psychology, which just focuses on present moment and present context. It focuses on the what and how and the here and now, trying to understand this specific moment, the problems that you're experiencing right now, and trying to find solutions, insights on that specific problem that you're experiencing right now. Not focusing on nangyari nakaraan, mangyayari, mga iniisip mo, future, but what your problems at that moment. The empty chair technique. Therapists encourage dialogue between the empty chair and person in therapy in order to engage the person's thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Then we have exaggeration exercises wherein the person in therapy is asked to repeat and exaggerate particular movement or expression to fully, grasp the extent of the situation, his or her feelings toward a specific situation that na-experience mo sa pagkakataong iyon. Then we have holistic, focuses on the relationship between the mind, body, and spirit, which can be done through massage and bodywork techniques, reintegration of the repressed emotions, and existential through involving philosophy and meditation. Existential, all people experience intrapsychic conflict due to their interaction with conditions inherent in human existence, which are known as givens. The freedom and associated responsibility, death, isolation, and meaninglessness of our lives. Trying to understand the most important questions. Bakit ka nandito? Ano nga bang patutunguhan mo? 'Di ba? Bakit tayo nabubuhay kung mamamatay lang din naman tayo? It's finding meaning and purpose, resulting in heightened self-awareness, self-understanding, self-respect, and self-motivation. It involves teaching people in therapy to grow and embrace their own lives and exist within them, the wonder and curiosity. And after a prolonged existential crisis, at the very least, you'll try to find an answer sa kung ano yung purpose mo sa buhay, sa mundong ito. So, typical tools counselors usually use, they use charts, assessment records, as a typical psychologist. Can be created by using, since getting to the client's open up is a difficult task. It's like opening a Pandora's box. Use of images in Gestalt and objects that may cause triggers, especially to persons who have, try to, free associate a specific feeling or emotion experience with certain objects. With that, thank you.